I think an E60 M5 is your best bang for your buck. And some of you guys are like, oh, E60 M5, there's just dollar signs floating all over my head. You got 500 horsepower at your fingertips. Now tell me that isn't good value for money. But for $15,000, 500 horsepower, the luxury of BMW, the sound of a V10, like what can you buy that's gonna look as good, go as fast for the money? What's up guys, and welcome back to the infamous project. We are doing yet another update, could be the final one, on my 2006 E60 M5, now approaching 212,000 original miles. That's right, 212,000 miles. Now, I've had this car for the better part of 8 months. Time flies when you're having fun, and to be honest, I have had nothing short of fun with this car. In fact, I drive it almost daily. People say that you can't do it and that it shouldn't be done. Well, this car has been the perfect example and perfect foundation to be able to drive it daily and just see what it can do. I throw stuff in the back seat. I got car parts and everything else that I do. Throw that in there. I go check the mail. I go to Home Depot. I go to the parts store. I pretty much do everything with my E60. Sometimes I even have the trunk lid up and tires shoved in the back because, well, why wouldn't you? So with that said, the car's up for sale and I need to make a choice now if I really want to invest into my 2010 Alpine White 6-speed manual car. This car, if it sells, will free up a little bit of extra cash to allow me to focus on that car. I'm a sucker for Alpine White, and who wouldn't want a manual? The pedigree of the car is there, 2010 being the last year of the E60. But let's talk about this car a little bit more, because I genuinely believe, like originally being a Fox body guy before I bled into the whole BMW scene back in the day, I always argued that a Fox body Mustang at the time was the best looking car and the fastest car for the money back then in the day. Now the prices of Fox bodies have kind of skyrocketed. They're coming back down a little bit, but here in 2024, I think an E60 M5 is your best bang for your buck. I like wholeheartedly believe that. And this car with 212,000 miles is a true testament to its capabilities if it's been maintained. And some of you guys are like, oh, E60 M5, there's just dollar signs floating all over my head. It costs a lot to maintain them and to keep them up to date and everything else. And yeah, there's some truth to that, but these cars typically at this stage have some miles on them. And before posting my E60s up, because I did post a white one up for sale as well, because if I get a good enough amount of money for it, then maybe I'll get rid of that and consider getting, anyways, we won't even go down that road. The point being here is that a lot of these cars that are posted up for sale now have the maintenance. A lot of them, the rod bearings have been done. The Vanos high pressure lines have been done. The SMG pumps have been rebuilt, and people are aware of what the maintenance issues are now. A lot of this stuff happened back when the cars still had some warranty or they were just out of warranty. Everyone was scared. Oh my God, rod bearing this, rod bearing that, etc., etc. However, you can find a real clean example. You know, this one's a high miler. I'm asking 12 grand for this car the way that it sits right now, which might be high in some's point of mind, but maybe someone really wants an Interlagos blue E60. Maybe they like the wheel setup. Maybe they like just whatever. They want this car, that's fine. 12 grand. Now, you can find one with almost half the mileage for probably around 15 grand. Like within reason. Yeah, you might have to travel to go get it. Might be a more common spec, but for 15 grand, you will find one of these cars that has the maintenance done, rod bearings, Vanos line, SMG pump, all that stuff. The brakes have probably been done. Maybe the suspension's been upgraded. Maybe there's been some exhaust modifications and all that stuff for $15,000, and you got 500 horsepower at your fingertips. Now tell me that isn't good value for money. So as I'm sweating away here in the hot Texas sun, that is my honest opinion. Like, aesthetically, these cars look great. You know what I mean? You throw on little Haman lip on the bottom if you want. You update your headlights, you put, you know, get the angel eyes working a little bit better. Maybe you personalize the car with some wheels and tires. Maybe they're already on there. But for $15,000, 500 horsepower, the luxury of BMW, the sound of a V10, right? You got good brakes, you have, and let's take a moment to go into the interior, like, because the interior experience is also really great. It's comfortable, it's luxurious, as, well, any M series or non-M series BMW would be for that matter. But even all the way back in 06, this particular car's got heated seats, air-conditioned seats, and like the active bolsters, all of these fun features that you're lucky if you even find them in a newer vehicle today. And you have different shifting opportunities through the paddles or through the little shifter knobber selector thingy. So not only is the car an absolute beast from a power perspective and from a handling perspective, the brakes are phenomenal, the suspension, of course, maybe you got to change it or hope that it was upgraded if the EDC fails, right? It is like an amazing all-round vehicle. You know, the cabin is solid, it's not some cheaply made, like, it's not like some Kia or Hyundai or something. So the other really cool thing is that I know a lot of people knock the SMG. You know, I get it. There's DCT out this day and age and all of these other things. But the SMG, you put this car in M mode and it does what it needs to do. It really does. Is there better stuff out there? Yeah, but the reality is we're talking 10,000 bucks here, or whatever, 15,000, whatever it might be, to get you into one of these cars. And the best part about the SMG is there is that automatic mode, right? So in case you're drunk and you need your wife to drive the car for you, you just slap it over and then all of a sudden we're shifting and driving an automatic vehicle once again. You get tired of that? Well, you just flip the paddles and you're back into manual mode. The versatility of this car is great. You're in luxury. You're sitting in luxury. You can feel power and performance, and right, you get the right stance and the right look and feel down. Like, people wouldn't know that this is a 2006, the average person on the street. And the average person on the street isn't going to think that this car has 500 horsepower and is probably going to, you know, hurt their feelings. So if you think about it, and in reality, for $15,000, like, what can you buy that's gonna look as good, go as fast for the money? And it's just, it blows my mind when I see some of these cars that are posted, you know, 15, even 18, even $20,000. Some of the ones that are like really clean examples, and people down talk the SMG like it's a horrible thing. The SMG honestly isn't that bad. Do you guys remember how I said that this was the best shifting SMG that I've had or been in? Well, not only under spirited driving, but also in just automatic driving. So you can see D1, automatic mode. Of course, I've got the shift setting up on the firmest setting. So normally on these cars, sometimes you gotta let off the throttle to help them out. Guys, I am not lifting on the throttle at all. And this car is almost driving like it would if I was manually shifting it. So I don't know if that's a testament to you guys. Maybe I've just had bad luck with other cars or being in other cars, but I've got to say, this one does extremely well. And I couldn't be, I don't know, I hardly ever use this mode, but if I've had too many beers and I have to stick the missus in the car, or in the driver's seat, I should say, to get us home, then she doesn't have a problem getting us home. Like, it's clunky. Does it shift as fast as a DCT? Does it do any of those things? But if you haven't had those luxuries ever before in your life, you wouldn't even really know what you're missing, is I guess the best way to put it. Because, like, I actually enjoy the SMG. I truly do. And you know what I mean? Again, I daily drive this car. I throw stuff in it. I drive it in traffic. I drive it in extremely hot Texas conditions. And I've had no problem with it. I got air-conditioned seats and AC that blows cold, and I can go around corners and brake and enjoy my commutes to work and back quite spiritedly, in case you haven't seen that video. So going back to rod bearings, because I know it's a very sensitive subject for a lot of people. And you know what? We always see those listings that like, rod bearings might have been done. I don't know. Maybe I was told that they were done. Well, kind of the same thing that I got into with this car. I was told that that guy was told that the original owner did the rod bearings around 100,000 miles. Well, 112,000 miles later, those rod bearings were only done one time. So me, as being preventative, I've done oil analysis reports. The first report came back with a good amount of lead content, but below the threshold, allowable threshold for copper. So they said, run 3,000 more miles on the car and we'll analyze the oil again. And I actually did that. And I got the report back, and guess what? The lead came way down, the copper hasn't changed, and they pretty much said, you know what? Run the car for another 4,500 miles, change your oil, everything looks great. So my consensus is, every time I change the oil, I'll send a sample out. And unless I start getting engine codes, or I start hearing some knocking, or whatever else it might be, you know, not that the rod bearings is that much of an investment. You can usually get them done for around $2,500. And you know, it sounds complicated. It sounds, what's the word, intimidating as a job that you might want to have to tackle. It's really not that bad. Just with this car being the miles that it is, I rather let things run its course. And unless I start seeing a bunch of copper in there, you know, I don't want to get in over my head, because if I'm into this car for $15,000, I could have one with half the miles. So yeah, not that I'm trying to talk myself out of a sale, because I do feel like, having bought this car, knowing nothing about it, right? If you guys remember, I was about $8,100 to my door, changed the steering wheel, updated the CCC screen, you know, did the coilovers, added the wheels and tires, put the lip spoiler on the front, upgraded the headlights, you know, all of these things kind of added up. And, you know, I just don't want to get in a position where I'm going to obviously lose. That's my scoop and my take on owning an E60 M5 in 2024. I think the value for money is really, really good for what the car is and what you're getting. And like, why wouldn't you want to own one? And if it's like any other M series car, they're only going to go up in value. Like, buy low, sell high, that old rule. That's why I put that money out for the 2010 Alpine White. So that is where I'm going to conclude the video. Hopefully this helps you. If you are an E60 M5 owner, maybe it helps convince you to maybe hold on to the car a little bit longer. Maybe it convinces you to invest a little bit more time and energy into the car. Or if you are somebody who's been on the fence of wanting to own one, or you've never even considered having an E60 M5, I think it's a damn good car, and I think it's worth every single dollar, and that all of the, I don't want to call them misconceptions, all of the problems and the E60 M5 isms that happened in the past, well, that's just it. They're in the past. There's enough miles on these cars now. There's enough awareness of what people know, what it takes to maintain them, to make them pretty much damn near bulletproof. and to be able to enjoy them for many years to come. So there you have it, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Thank you for your support. If you're interested in the car, please reach out to me via my website. And if you're interested in the white manual 2010, that one's up for sale too. 22 grand, that could be yours. So let me know, and we'll see you next time here on the Infamous Project.